Hi guys, welcome back to Walmington, Riverside. I do believe in the last video I happened to call it Upper Walmington on one occasion. That's a previous layout I built, which is now down in Perth. But anyway, what are we looking at this time? You've seen the new stock, and I've been doing a little bit of building over here, a bit of scratch building, and we're going to discuss that. And I have here on the yard a little shed kit that we're going to look at, and I had to get some new glue, some nice runny super glue, and we'll see how it is at going together. But first off, let's look at this little scratch building that I've been up to. As part of the scenic break, I've been building a bridge. It's not a straight bridge. I wanted it at an angle because I didn't want everything just square and regimented. It sort of just opens up the front edge here a little bit, and I've added a slope down the hill there to the back, so it's, you know, add a bit of gradient. What this is supposed to represent is a bridge, new bypass that's gone in, that comes up the hill and then goes over the river at the front of the layout. So as you can see, we got it's a concrete bridge. This is just primed undercoat at the minute, and it's textured just to give a representation of precast concrete that's been bought in. Now it's the same plastic sheet that I've used for the walling here on the river, and just styrene strips put in. I put a slightly larger piece over the railway because a lot of bridges seem to have just a little bit more reinforcing over the railway line. A beam across the top here, and some girder bits that work under the bridge there, just to add a bit of detail. So as we can see, it's a bit of an odd shape. We've got the road at the angle here. I've got a bit of a drop off on the back. This will be filled up, and we'll put some grass on there. Now we have 2 footpaths, one on either side of the road, and the road itself. The road is to scale according to the internet, 7.5 metres. 7.5 metres divided by 120 gives you the width of a standard modern-ish single carriageway road. The paths are scale 2 metres because that is so you can have apparently 2 wheelchairs pass comfortably. So 2 metres either side plus a 7.5 metre road. This is how big it needs to be. These things are on Google and easy to find, but a lot of people, you know, you see different size roads and all that all over there. If you want to do something sort of semi-scale so it looks right with the cars on, single carriageway road, 7.5 metres wide. There's something for you. Now this is literally just styrene sheet with a few little bits to reinforce it underneath there, and as I say, this is the corrugated stuff. It's sort of square form for the walling, and the little bits of, if you can see in there, I'm trying to keep out of it there, you can just see the extra little bits underneath there just to look like a bit of support. What I'm going to do now that it's filled in a couple of places where I've had to extend the sheets, is I'm going to mask up the path and the road, and then I'm going to take it outside and spray it a light grey, because it's new concrete, a lighter grey than this, and we'll come back. We'll just get some masking tape on. Now the glue that I have used on this one, my trusty glues of normal use, is I normally use this stuff, but because I wanted to get in some corners where I can't really get to that with that, I've been using this limonene. It's lemon, citrus, I was going to say citrus flavour, citrus smell stuff from Tamir, and it's, you know, it's the one with one of these tiny little brushes on, and it's actually been really good and done a good job sticking it together. But here's a tip for reinforcing corners such as these ones here. Because the corners aren't square, you can't put a square reinforcing part, so trying to get it to focus on that rather than on me, in the corners you put round tubing in there I've got, and obviously then it will always find the corner to stick to on two faces rather than one and have a gap from the other. So use round. There's a tip. That's a tip from me. So anyway, let's get this masking tape on here. Tell me your masking tape, always use good stuff. Get less bleed and it's less likely to peel stuff off. What I want to try and do is mask it so that I've got a curb, because I want the curb to be concrete. So just that much tape. I'm not going to measure that out, I'm just going to do it so it is a small. Well, this tape is too wide, so I'll put this on the road right up to the curb. Next thickness down is this one, so we'll put this on the path. Come back. So now that when I spray this with a light grey colour, it'll give me a curb on there. And I shall now mask up that edge of the path and do the same on this side. This bit would be easy if I'd actually put my glasses on and my magnifier, but we can get that in there. Yeah, that's got that. So I'm just going to trim the tops and the bottoms, fill in this middle bit, and then I'll go and give it a spray with the old airbrush. Awesome, that'll do nicely. And there we have it. What do we think of that? You can just see the curbs there in the light grey concrete colour. I've used rail grey because that was the lightest grey I had in my paint drawer, so that's what I've used, and I think that looks pretty good. So I'll just leave that harden off for a couple of days before I do any more on that one. So let's turn our attention to the shed kit. Now this kit I purchased off eBay from DAPR, and it's a 3D printed resin kit. The picture on the advert on eBay didn't do it justice, to be honest. I was concerned about how it would look, the finish, because I think they'd used a 3D printer with filament just to do a test print, and that is what was photographed in the advert. But the quality of the finish is really nice. We have a pair of doors for the front of the shed, which you just trim down to the height you want if you want open doors. The roof here came in one piece. You just have to cut it in half so that you can obviously do the end there, and you got a couple of door frames for the big doors, and you've got a little door here to go in there as well. So you know, we've got all the parts we need for that. And how they assemble is you have these two bits of channel. Now initially I thought you just glued it on the top, but what you do is you glue it into the slot. Little area here for the door and things. So you can sort of almost dry fit these pieces together first. I had to just trim a couple of little bits of the filament or whatever from within the slot in the corners, but other than that, you know, they slot in rather beautifully. That goes in there. You can't see, can you? Right, so bring it up this end a bit. There you go. So that end, that goes in there. This one goes in this end into the slot, just in there, and obviously the end with the doorway goes in the slot with the gap for the door in it. So they all just sit in there rather nicely. And turn that around there into the slot, nice and firm. And then you just glue it in together. Now the glue I have waited to arrive so that I can do this is some Zap super glue, but it's a really runny sort, because obviously the normal glue doesn't work on this stuff, so you've got to use super glue. So I thought, well, if I get this really thin stuff, I can just run it in and it will just draw it in with capillary action. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure these ends go in first, and then I'll just make sure that it's a good fit and vertical, so I can put the side in between. So I'm going to do the ends first and then fit the sides. What I've also bought is some of these little tubes that go on the top of the bottle, like that, so that we can, I'm already stuck to everything. Look at that, that's good stuff. So if I'm going to see this, I'm going to need my eyes. So let's see how we go. I'll hold that up right there and we'll just, oh wow, that flows quick. That's one end. Yeah, that does really runny glue. Well, that bodes well. So there's that. I'm just going to sand the end a little bit, just to make sure it's a nice and clean square edge. And on the bottom, just a tiny little moulding mark there. Bulges out slightly, so I'm just going to shave that off. Cool. Alright, think. Yeah, that's in there, so we can run a little bit along the bottom. Nicely in line there, drip down there, let that hold. That's beautifully got that, and that corner as well. That's got that. Okay. Quick as that. There we go. So now we have the door frame that goes on the inside, like that. So try not to glue it to everything else, or glue me to everything else. I'll just do this bottom edge here first. And one on this side. And then a bit of super glue on the top here. I've got the door here, which again goes inside the inlet, into that little gap. This super glue does get everyone stuck to everything. Stuck to everything. A little bit to clean up on the edge of the door frame. It's just trimmed the little lug on the bottom here that locates in the slot in the door frame. Try it now, try not to get stuck to everything. Yep, it's got that. So. I do believe. that's that. So the door frame, the door there. Excellent. So literally just line him up in the doorway. So for the roof, I reckon I'm just going to put a little dot on the corner there, a little dot on the corner there, and at the top here, just to hold it in place whilst I line it up. So I reckon there and there. Yeah, I reckon that's got that. So now I'll just put a little spot inside the roof. Yep, so four little spots, line it up. Now we'll just get the top lined up on the roof. Little spot in the top here just to hold it together. And hey presto, one basic shed with the and now I'm sticking everything in, ready to add the doors at whatever height you want them to be. I'm going to leave these till after I've painted them just for ease to get them on. But there we have it, and that's DAPR, and that's a really nice little kit. So there we go guys, there's a little bit more done for the layout. The bridge is painted and the little shed there is built. I'll now carry on and start to sort out this hill at the back there, ready for ground cover and a bit of maybe foliage for the next video. We'll see how we go with that one. So anyway, any questions, drop us a line below, and anything else, and catch you next time around. See you later. Bye for now.